Hey everybody, Mike Weitzman from Master of the Milky Way. I've had the new Asterra Z Tracker for about a month, and I wanted to give you my thoughts about what I think separates this unit from every other tracker on the market. And once again, I'd like to thank Asterra for sending me one of the first units to review in the field. And while they sent me this unit to review, everything that I'm going to tell you today are my own thoughts. There are two distinct features that set this unit apart: its compact size and the integrated wedge. Let's start with the size. It's about the size of a Rubik's Cube and takes up almost no space in your bag. If you like to backpack, that alone may be the killer feature for the Asterra. Tell you what, let's head out to the field and take a look at some of the other features that the Asterra has to offer. Now, I think the second key feature has got to be the built-in integrated wedge for the Asterra. I can't tell you how many of my photography friends have bought a tracker only to leave it in their bag or leave it at home because they were too intimidated by all the parts that it took to stack it up, to get it aligned, and to begin tracking. Too much work. And I think the designers of the Asterra understood this problem. That's why they built in this wedge with a real simple mechanism for aligning it with Polaris, getting it finely adjusted, and in no time you're ready to start tracking. You know, it seems like every time I take students out to photograph the Milky Way, I end up having to help one of my students learn how to set up and adjust their tracker so they can learn to use it. And I've seen all kinds of ways that students have mounted their trackers. Some have mounted them on top of a ball head. Some have, I've had another student bring a pan tilt unit and put that under the tracker, and while that worked great, it was really bulky and heavy. There are a number of wedges out there that are available, but again, they're all separate from the tracker and need to be attached. With this built-in wedge on the bottom of this, it's real simple to get the elevation, to do the fine adjustment, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how you can actually very quickly find the adjustment. The other feature that's great about this is the built-in laser. And you can see this does have that built-in laser that you can use to do the polar alignment with Polaris. And the great thing about having a built-in laser is that you don't have to recharge the laser's battery, be concerned if the battery is going to fail on the laser. It's all built into the unit. You don't have to try to attach an additional bracket with the laser to the unit and lose or fumble around with those parts in the middle of the night. It's all right here. There's a button on the front here that turns the laser on and off, so you can recheck your alignment real simply in the middle of your tracking. Stop for just a few seconds, turn on the laser, and do the tracking. The power for the unit is found at this switch right here, and that turns on power for it. You also have a USB-C port on the side, as well as the battery unit here on the back with 3 AA batteries. You can adjust the elevation by pulling out the knob or adjust it fine-tuned on the side here. This locks the elevation. You also have an azimuth adjustment, fine adjustment here, and a locking knob for that. It has a built-in leveling bubble. And then on the back side here, the quick adjustment clutch plate so that you can also rotate your camera around this as well and lock it back in. One of the things I love about the Asterra is that it's so easy to set up. Let me show you what that takes. So first we'll just simply screw the unit onto the top of my tripod, which has been set up previously. I'll turn on power, so power is turned on. And now I can simply pull out the side knob and get the elevation up on the unit. We're ready now to actually begin alignment with Polaris. So I'll pull out my phone here, I'll bring up my compass, and with the compass I will look at the coordinates here. We're at about 13.1 degrees elevation, and so that's basically what I need to align in here. So I will now do some fine adjustment until we are at 37.1 degrees, and then The next step now is to turn on the laser. So with the laser turned on, I can now do the alignment with Polaris, and I can do some fine adjustment with the azimuth down here until we're all lined up. Once that's lined up, I simply lock that down. I lock down this. I can turn off the laser now. Next, I reach down and I grab my ball mount, and I take the ball mount and I mount that on like this here. And so now that that's lined up, and you can see it's not where I need it, so I can pull the clutch, slip it around, pull it up. That's aligned now. So we've got those two parts done. And then the last part is simply to mount your camera up like this. And now, once we get that all set up, of course, we can recheck with the laser to make sure that we are aligned with Polaris, make any final adjustments. And now we simply push the tracking button, and now we're tracking, and we can begin taking our images from here. Now, another killer feature for users in the southern hemisphere, or folks that live in a place where you can't use the laser, is to actually set this up using both your elevation or latitude. So you simply need to dial in your latitude, the top number here, using the information from your compass app. So you get that dialed in. That was 39.2 for us, so we get that dialed in. And then you can rotate the azimuth over here, and if you can get this dialed in at 0, that's where the current magnetic north is located for us. Now, we went on to the NOAA app, and we were able to figure out that we need to subtract 13 degrees from this for the magnetic declination. So if we come back over here to 347 and dial that in, then basically we are pretty close to where Polaris should be, or pointed towards the rotation here, simply using the magnetic declination and the elevation of the planet. All right, well, now that it's dark, I'd like to demonstrate for you how to do a single star polar alignment. And so what I'm going to do here, I'll show you how I'm going to align this with Arcturus, and you'll be able to follow along with me on the actual app here. So let me bring up the Planet Pro app. We'll open the Planet Pro app like this, and now we will click on the hamburgers over here, slide down to single star polar alignment right here. All right, so you can read all of this. It talks about single star polar alignment. We basically start alignment, and it says which body would you like to select here. The moon is up, Venus is up, or Arcturus Vegas. So I'm going to pick Arcturus like this. Okay, I say next. All right, so now it says enter the measured value. So now we're going to turn on the laser, and I'm going to rotate this around until I've got the right altitude here, elevation, and now the right azimuth. So we're going back and forth so you can see the laser's on. I've got it aligned with this now. And so now I'm going to come in here and enter the values that I'm reading on the screen. It says 46.5, right? And now for the azimuth, it's saying 237.8. And I say next. Now it says finish polar alignment. So it says now to finish polar alignment, adjust the mount to the azimuth and altitude given below. So now we rotate this around until we are aligned with, over here, 341 and 38.7. So then we bring this down to 38.7, just like this. Boom. And now just for fun, I'll check it. And hey, we're off just a little bit from Polaris, but not bad. Probably about 2-3 degrees off of Polaris, but probably more than enough now to do single star polar alignment. All right, so let's wrap this up. You might be asking, who is this star tracker for? And I think I've got a couple of thoughts about that after using this for a month. First of all, if you go backpacking and like to take pictures of the Milky Way, you know, out in the high mountains or valleys or wherever you might want to pack into, this is great because it's small, compact, and this combined with your ball head and of course your camera and tripod, this is really a compact set of gear to put into your backpack to take with you on an overnight or even a week-long trip. Secondly, I would say if you live in a country where you know, the use of the laser is illegal, or you live in the southern hemisphere where you can't see Polaris and you want the ability to do the single star alignment as we saw just demonstrated, the ability to set up and align just using the IMU and the compass on this is a substantial feature for folks that find themselves in that category. And I guess lastly, if you're new to Milky Way photography and you don't own a star tracker yet, this is a great star tracker to invest in your bag, because I think it might be the only star tracker that you need because of the power and ease of use of setting this up, the minimal number of parts to lose or to, you know, configure incorrectly. You really can't get it wrong. It's so easy to set up and use. So those are really the three, I think, ideal candidates for this compared to other star trackers on the market. But as I said already, this is going to replace all the other star trackers that I've acquired before this, and this is going to stay in my bag for a long time. You know, the first night that I used this, I set it up the first time, I was able to track you know, up to 6 minutes and still have pin sharp stars after 6 minutes, and I got an amazing picture out of that. And you know, I've had great success with it since then, and I will continue to, I believe, get great images using this in the future. So with that, I want to wish you clear skies, and you know, please like and follow the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Good night.